Hello, welcome to Friday's Newscast of Rome. Today we're going to be talking about stories like decrease in economy, the creation of concrete, and many other interesting stories. Austin Opes and Vishak Pillai are going to be our anchors today, so sit back and enjoy the newscast. Over the years, the Roman Empire has had many economic problems. Our excessive military spending is costing us a fortune only to defend the empire from barbarian invasions. If we keep this up, we will not have any money for educational purposes. The government are increasingly hiring soldiers from unemployed city mobs. This Roman army isn't only unreliable, but also extremely expensive. Now emperors are forced to raise taxes because of a loss in money for the empire. Thus, if we keep this up, the Roman Empire...
Political systems. In the political systems, there are different ranks of authority. Trajan has just died, and we are trying to decide on who the next emperor will be to rule Rome. We are more likely deciding that his son take the throne, that is, if he is not killed. Trajan had only one son. His name was Hadrian. He was adopted in the beginning of Trajan's rule, but to be his heir. Hadrian later became the next emperor after Trajan had died from a stroke.
Construction workers have found a brand new building material called concrete. Concrete is made of small stones, sand, limestone, clay, and water. Workers say that it is lighter, easier to carve, and lasts longer than stone. Concrete is used for building domes and harder to build structures. Concrete will now be the new thing for
growing Rome. Rome is on its way to victory against Dacia. We will obtain lots of land for settlers to farm crops and also gain lots of gold and salt mines. The gold will supply the treasury for many harsh years to come in the empire. Later on in 115 AD, after the empire was settled with Dacia, Trajan decided to attack on the Parthians. First, he tried to gain power over the Parthian capital, Ctesiphon, which expanded the empire all the way to the Persian Gulf. This victory over them expanded the empire to its largest size. It stretched across Europe and the Middle East, from present-day Scotland to southern Spain. The empire also included some of northern Africa, Israel, Turkey, Lebanon, Syria, and other parts of Iran and Iraq too. Rome's empire growth eventually came to a halt because of Trajan. And because of Trajan, this great emperor's size would never be bigger.
The amount of poor people has increased dearly and now makes up 80% of the Roman population. As the empire expands, the amount of poor increases because people can't pay their taxes. Now, wherever you go in Rome, you will find tons of poor people. The amount of poor increases every day with the high taxes. Trajan is trying to decrease taxes and try to decrease the amount of poor and slaves. Slaves are also growing in number when farmers have to supply more, so they get more slaves to do the work. The amount of slaves is so high that if you see a farmer without one, it will be a very rare sighting.
Breaking news! This just in. Trajan has died from an illness on his way back sailing to Rome in this year, 117. This smart and successful emperor is definitely one of Rome's greatest emperors. Trajan reduced Roman taxes and expanded the empire to its greatest size. Trajan also included child welfare programs, and he was a very fair emperor. Trajan was definitely a successful leader because Rome has prospered and will.
I think that Trajan is one of the best emperors and will be for the rest of the empire's years. Trajan was liked by many people for his great achievements. His biggest accomplishment was that he decreased the amount of taxes, and this helped clear the streets of poor people. He was one of the best emperors, but he could have made some more changes to the government, like change the way an emperor was elected. He also made improvements to architecture, like creating the concrete and the dome. Trajan will be one of the best emperors that the Roman Empire will.
Hello, good morning, Rome. Today we have a special guest with us, Julius Servanius. Tell me, who do you think could have helped him with his illness?
I don't think that even a great doctor could have saved him because this was such an unknown illness.
Let's see. What do you think could have killed him in his own room?
An illness that could have affected his brain or his thought process.
When did you think that he would pass away, not so unexpected like this in his own room?
I thought he was going to pass away in a couple of years, but not now because we just thought this was just any regular disease.
Where would you expect him to die? Or why didn't you help Emperor Trajan with his condition and health?
I wasn't able to help him because I was attending my sick family.
Last question today. How do you feel about this tragic event and losing one of your closest friends?
This is the most tragic happening in my whole entire life because he was my closest friend.
That's all we have today, and have a nice weekend. Thank you for joining us on the Friday Newscast.
Have a nice weekend and join us next week.